It's awful hard as well to get Latinx vaccinated as well. Why? They're worried that they'll be vaccinated and deported.
Maternal love is the love that's going to change the future of mankind. So we'd like you to look into
we
that.
like to say people kind, not necessarily mankind, because it's more inclusive.
There we go, exactly. Yes, thank you.
We can all learn from each other.
Ensure that people who do give birth that don't have the resources to care for a child, making sure that someone like me as a woman or any menstruating person in this country.
Did you just use a term that excludes women from an occupation?
Okay, let's back up.
Ah! Did you just say spokesman instead of spokesperson?
Why is it important to use gender-neutral language and to only use the latest PC words to refer to specific groups of people? If we just stop using the language of past generations, when horrible inequality was the norm, we can reduce the discrimination of today, or so the reasoning goes. The idea that the language people use controls the way they think is called linguistic determinism, and it's the driving force behind political correctness. That language shapes our perception seems quite plausible when considering the language of other cultures. The Inuits have many more words for snow than English-speaking people. Perhaps their larger vocabulary for different kinds of frozen precipitation causes them to have a different, more precise awareness of it. It's likely you've already come across this idea of linguistic determinism in popular culture. It plays an important role in the science fiction movie Arrival. It's about the linguist Louse Banks, who studies the language of extraterrestrials, and thereby acquires their non-linear notion of time, which even enables her to see the future. The most famous example for linguistic determinism is the fictional language of newspeak, as described in Orwell's dystopian novel 1984. Its restricted vocabulary and grammar make it impossible to speak or even think thoughts that aren't in line with the party's ideology. Unfortunately, there is no real evidence that language has this kind of power over people's thoughts. So all this policing of language in an effort to be more inclusive of disadvantaged groups might just be in vain.
My real objection is that I don't think political correctness works. I want to get to the Golden Hill, but I don't think that's the way to get there.
The negative connotations that some words have come from the underlying meaning or concept that they point to in the real world and is not innate in them. So when new words are introduced as politically correct labels for the same old concepts, it's only a matter of time until that new word acquires the same old bad connotation. Idiot and moron were originally clinical terms for people with intellectual disabilities. They were quickly picked up by the general public and used as insults. The medical diagnosis was changed to mentally retarded until this again developed into an insult and is now replaced with intellectually disabled. It's a fallacy to believe that these words are the cause for society's negative view of this condition. Cause and effect are conflated, such as in the case of the Inuits' many words for snow. Can you think of a reason other than specific words why a people that lives above the Arctic Circle might pay more attention to snow and might therefore have a need for a greater variety of words? Colored people was replaced with the less offensive Negro, which itself got replaced by Black or African American. Interestingly, by simply switching the order of adjective and noun from colored person to person of color, a taboo word suddenly becomes PC again. The ongoing process of words going out of style is well known to linguists and referred to as the euphemism treadmill. A euphemism is a word used instead of one that's deemed offensive. Over time, the euphemism itself becomes taboo and has to be replaced again, and so the treadmill continues. Political correctness doesn't lead to cultural progress. Real progress would be to finally be able to step off the treadmill.